All right, guys and gals, this is Blake Morrow. Sorry about the wait. Hmm. And hope everybody's having a great trading session. We're actually seeing the euro pull back a little bit from that 107 area. Like I said, chasing it up here doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. At the same time, I don't know about being long either. At least not right here. I might pick up some euro here in a little bit, though. Thinking about it. I haven't done so yet. Okay, so what we got to do is we got to get ready for today. We do have ISM, although I don't think it's going to be a huge mover. I think people are looking at the after effects of the referendum right now. But I think what we are going to have is we're going to have just kind of like the reactions from here. So let's go into or reactions from here from regarding the euro. Hold on really quick. I might actually pick up a little euro here. Stand by. Picked up a little bit at 85. Let's see here. Yep. It might drop into the 60s, but we'll see. All right, so first and foremost, let's go into the euro since we're looking at it right now. So the euro, obviously at this point in time, the euro, looking at it and taking a step back, it caught a lot of people off guard. I mean, that's just bottom line, right? You got a lot of traders that thought, okay, with a no vote, the euro is going to just completely, crap the bed, and instead, the euro has spiked up, squeezed a lot of traders to the long side, and to the short side. And like I said, I still think the euro is going to make its way up towards 108. So I bought a little bit on this dip, but I think Paul is correct here. Any move down to this, you can see this gap fill. I have to imagine there's a lot of people waiting to buy this, but right down here. So show those people that are stuck short down here below 106. Any move down to 106.60 should be fairly well supported. 1.0660. Excuse me one second. Sorry about that. All right, so the 106.60 is going to be support. Now resistance, we're going to take the overnight high, but we're going to go beyond that. So resistance being at 107.28. Okay. Okay, but let's imagine that we can squeeze past there. All right, if we can squeeze past there, which I'm assuming is, what is going to eventually happen. So we have 107.45. So 107. 107.45, 107.28, 1.0720, or let's say 107.30, oops, 30, then 107.50, basically 1.0750. I don't think we're going to exceed that today. I doubt it. I mean, we might. But we are in a bearish trend. Now, you might be thinking, well, Blake, you just bought the euro. I know I bought the euro. I'm trading counter trend. I mean, what a man can't trade counter trend these days? Is that taboo? So I know it's counter trend, but or I know it's in a downtrend, but I happen to be trading counter trend right now, and like I told you guys earlier, I still think that there's going to be a rally towards 108, 108, 108.50. So trading a little counter trend right now is, just understand that it's counter trend. You just don't want to take huge positions when you do that, right? Bottom line. Now, and I still think we can continue to squeeze higher. All right. Now let's go over to the cable. So, because the cable, it actually looks pretty, pretty strong. And you know, you can see we're in this, you know, I want to say bullish wedge, whatever the hell we're in right now. It's very choppy waters, but it's moving higher. It's just kind of choppy on its way up. So we have to imagine that now, while we're above 126, remember this is 126.75, right? Uh, let's go back to, let's go to the 4 hour. 4 hour will be good. Let's move right here. 126.75. So trend line supports 126. Yeah. So this has to hold. I know we're coming into it right now, but 126.75. And if we can squeeze past 127.50, so let's see, 126.75. 127.50, that'll take us to, there we go. Previous support there is 128. So, okay. All right. As you guys know, we're still in a range. Still in a range here. And that actually could take us up towards 128.50 as well, which is the 618 is right up there. Actually, that seems more likely, right? 128.70, which is the 618. That looks doable to me. That looks very doable. For those of you guys that are looking to sell the cable, that's probably the place to do it. All right. Let's take a look at the Swissy. So the Swissy, you know, hoping for an eventual push down to parity. I don't know if we're going to get that, but if you take this dollar Swiss, see, we, you know, broke slightly below that support, but I think now we have to just look at it like this. So what's this low? 1.0073. So I'm going to write down 1 parity, right? 1.0075. So if that breaks, that'll allow for a move down to, you know, down to parity if it breaks. Okay. All right. Now resistance is obvious. It is 102. Even though it's bullish, we're still expecting a move, you know, down to parity here. I'll just move these over a little bit. So, you know, hopefully we get a move down like that. Last little buying opportunity off of parity. All right, let's go over to the dollar yen. So the dollar yen, you know, the dollar yen, I mean, I'm surprised how strong the dollar yen is because of, you know, the euro dollar had rallied back. I expected the dollar yen to pull back, but it's been very, very strong. Okay. Now, let's delete that. Let's delete that. I'll draw that again. Let's get rid of that for a moment. That's very key trend line support. Now we stopped at this 786, but I'm not completely convinced that this is it for the dollar yen. Um, as long as we remain above this trend line, so that means at this point in time, as long as we remain above 113, it's bullish. Okay. Thing is like continuous squeezing too. Now I'm going to write down 114.80, and beyond that, it's going to be 115.50. And you guys know that if we get to 115.50, I'm going to sell with both hands. I think I've explained that to you guys. But I think everybody's like us, or like me, wanting to sell up there. Maybe not everybody, but most people. So, the dollar yen, the reason why I want to sell up here is the big weekly 618 retracement. My eyes are watering. The 618 retracement right here, previous support. So everybody's going to try to lay into that 105, 115.50 if we can get up there. All right. The question is, do we? Do we make it all the way up there? All right, let's take a look at the CAD. So here is the Canadian. Now, like I said, I shorted some dollar Canadian today because crude's at $52 and it looks like it's going higher. Now, remember, this is the sell zone, right? Or the buy zone, excuse me, like support zone, maybe buy zone, support zone, whatever you want to call it. That is key. And let's get rid of this really fast. Let's delete that. Delete that. I don't think we need that for right now. This worked perfectly, so you can see that 133.50 is resistance. That is key. 133.50. That should not be broken today. And we're bullish, but I'm short. I think the risk is that we start breaking lower. All right. So what is this low? 132.54. Remember, we did that on Friday, and we had been writing down, or we had looked at 132.70. This is 132.63. So we basically hit that low and bounced off. But I'll tell you guys, if we break below that, if we break below the 132.50, that's when some selling steps in my opinion. 132.50. Okay. Let's do the Kiwi really fast. So here's the Kiwi. And let's get rid of these fibs. We can redraw them here in a moment. Okay. So on Friday, we drew this. Okay. So I think all this is still very relevant at this point. I don't think we're going to retest the underside of this trend line. Now I may be wrong. I mean, because obviously if the euro squeezes up to 108, maybe we will. But at this point in time, low to high, that's your 618. 70.40. to 71.70, and we happen to be right in the middle. So, or close to the middle, 71.70, 70, and this is 70.40. And I don't think there's anything to do with the Kiwi, although I do believe it's bearish. I think that, again, if the euro dollar is going to squeeze, which I think it is, if the euro dollar is going to squeeze to 108, maybe that's enough to take the Kiwi dollar back up to 71.70. I will be a seller up there. I will be a seller up there. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back. Let me see here. I'm going to sell my euros here. That's 12 pips. I'm just scalping around a little bit. Nothing exciting. I know it's like probably could make more, but it freaks me out to buy the euro right now. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys picked up a little earlier when it dipped down there, but I just picked up a little bit. Yeah, I picked up a little bit and sold it. Like I said, I'm kind of scalping around, not necessarily super excited about being long the euro. Like I said, I'd rather be short the euro, frankly. I'd rather be short it, higher, rather than trying to play it on the long side too much. Let me see. Where was I at? Kimmy said, I'm not sure if you're aware, Blake, but New Zealand Prime Minister resigned yesterday. Yeah, I heard that Key resigned. I'm assuming that's why the Aussie New Zealand was a little stronger, because I was traveling around, helping my wife with her new office space and or with her office space and office furniture and stuff, and I saw that the Aussie New Zealand spiked up, and I'm like, huh. And I looked at, and I'm like, oh, is it really the Chinese data that did it? And then I'm like, oh, as the prime minister resigned. So, but that's cool. It was a surprise resignation from what I understand. But I don't think it's going to be any long-term impacts. But I don't know. I haven't had an opportunity to read up a whole lot on it. But thank you, though. I forgot to mention that this morning. Let's take a look at the Aussie. Here's the Aussie dollar. Aussie, oi, oi, oi. Yeah, so here's the Aussie. Still has the potential at this point. Here, let me remove this because I don't want it to obstruct our view of what we're dealing with at the moment. So the Aussie, still looking pretty well bid. Now, I think overall, the Aussie, you have to keep in mind that the Aussie had a really gnarly breakdown. Okay, let's get over to the Aussie. There we go. Okay, we had a gnarly breakdown from that false breakout over here. So I still think that 75 cents is going to be a real tough obstacle for the Aussie. Period. End of story. Okay. Still going to be really tough, on any rally up there. But we are holding up right now, and while we're above 73.60, there's a good chance for backfilling, right? So while we remain above here, there's still good chance that we can just chop around quite a bit. Again, you think about the euro. If the euro is going to, wow, look at crude, so strong. If you think that the euro is going to 108, which yeah, it's still spiking up. If the euro is going to 108, then the Aussie dollar is probably gonna be dragged by the by its piggy tails, up at this resistance. You know, dollar index. Okay, so here's the dollar index. We have our head and shoulder pattern. I don't know why this is little. Okay, we're testing the neckline right now, so we're at 100.50. The low overnight is 100. 101. Is that right? No. 100.41. So that's support 100.40. If that breaks, we're going to 100, right? Resistance is 101.54. Okay. Looks like I got out of that euro a little too early. It's okay. It's bullish, but we have the potential of really pulling back, and I personally think we're doing this. It's going to shake the tree a lot, because there's so many people that are bullish the dollar. I mean, it's a very crowded trade right now. Everybody's bullish because it broke out. Everybody thinks the dollar is going higher. Everybody's, it's like, okay, I agree. I actually think that the dollar is going higher, but I also think that we are going to pull back and shake out a lot of the latecomers. We're going to shake out a lot of the people that had bought this breakout. We got to shake them out first before moving higher. Like I said, I think the dollar, I've said this all along, I think the dollar's going a lot higher. It's just not going to be in a straight line. It's going to be real ugly. It's going to be very choppy. All the easy money's been made. When we squeezed out all those shorts from, here and pivoted off of this support, all this is the easy money. Now the hard money is going to be, this is going to be the tough money, that, in my opinion. All right. Peso. God, missed this peso. I'm so upset that I missed this thing on Friday. I'm so upset I didn't short it up here, and kudos to like Matt and some of the other guys in our chat room. They really nailed this thing, and I was pussyfooting around, dicking around with other stuff and totally messed that up. But anyway, good stuff here as far as the peso. I still think that now, here, let's move that. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this. Okay, we're going to keep that for now. We might still get our opportunity up here at 2090 to trade it short on the short side, but I think that's the place you want to be short. Okay. 2090. $20.43, the support. Oh shoot, this is bearish. Sorry. It's bullish, even though, like I said, I'm still trying to trade counter trend in it, but I think it's still bullish. Okay, let's go over to the Swedish krona and Norwegian krona. So here's the US dollar, Norwegian krona. Now, we rejected off of this trend line pretty good. Here, let's get rid of that. And that. find that, and that, and that doesn't transfer correctly over the weekends, those trend lines. Um, so big rejection off of this trend line. And I believe while we're below this one here, and you've got crude oil rallying, I think you've got to be able to be short up here. So, and we got this little false breakdown below the 50% retracement. Looks like that. Hold on really quick. So if given the opportunity, I'm going to try to sell that thing as close to 850 as possible. Right? We get a move up to 850. I want to be a seller up there. Now it is bullish, you know, because again, just keep in mind that the dollar is still bullish, even though there's some counter trend trading going on right at the moment. It's still bullish, and I think while we're above this blue trend line, you got to still stay bullish. But at this point, we might be able to dip all the way down to 133 or 133, 833. Now the spike low from overnight is 837. So we have 8.33, 8.37. Okay, that's support. Okay. Yes, that's me slurping my coffee. Here's the Swedish krona. $9.09 will be support. If that breaks, we're going to see a pullback in the US dollar Swedish krona. Okay, but still bullish. Big reversal today, though. Man, look at, we spiked right up overnight to the 930 level and reversed. That's big time. So that means any move below 909, that's going to be dangerous. I think those are the same numbers we wrote down on Friday. Still bullish, but, you know, obviously the rejection overnight was a big deal. All right, guys, your bias chart is over. Done. Copper spiking up. Copper.